This man is Philip. His name is Philip. What is Philip doing? What's he doing? He's throwing a piece of paper into a bin. A scrunched up piece of paper. Why is he throwing a scrunched up piece of paper into a bin? This room is Philip's office. A room in a house or in a building. There are rooms in houses and in buildings. Rooms with walls. This is a wall. You can see two walls. One, two walls of this room. This room is Philip's office. In his office, Philip works. He works. He works. In his office, there's a desk. Philip works at his desk. He writes, or types at his desk. Also in his office is a bin. In the bin goes everything that Philip doesn't want. Anything that Philip doesn't want, he can put into the bin. Philip's desk is very messy. It's messy. Philip wants to tidy his desk, to make it tidy. So Philip has to throw out the paper, the sheets of paper that he doesn't want. He has to put the pieces of paper that he doesn't want into the bin. Philip's desk is in one corner of the room. A corner of the room. In the other corner of the room is the bin. The other corner, there's the bin. Philip decides that he's not going to walk back and forth between the desk and the bin. Each time he has to put a piece of paper into the bin, he's not going to walk to the bin, put the piece of paper into the bin, and then walk back to the desk. He's not going to do that. Philip decides that he's going to stay standing at the desk. He's going to stay standing here, next to the desk. And each time he has to put a piece of paper into the bin, he's going to throw the piece of paper into the bin. From one side of the room to the other side. He's going to try and throw the pieces of paper from one side to the other side of the room into the bin. Here are the two corners of the room. In one corner is the bin. In another corner is Philip standing, and Philip's gonna try to get the scrunched up pieces of paper into the bin. Philip looks at the sheets of paper. He looks at the sheets of paper on the desk, and he finds one sheet of paper that he doesn't want. He doesn't want it. So he scrunches up the sheet of paper and throws it to the bin. Where does the piece of paper land? Where does it land? The piece of paper lands in front of the bin. In front, behind, to the side. From your point of view, this is the front, this is behind, this is on the left and on the right. The left side, the right side, from your point of view. From Philip's point of view, here is in front, here is behind, here is the left side, and here is the right side. So, the first piece of paper that Philip throws lands in front of the bin. It doesn't go into the bin. Philip finds another piece of paper that he doesn't want. He doesn't want it. So, again, he scrunches up the piece of paper and tries to throw it into the bin. Where does it land? It lands behind the bin. Behind the bin. The second piece of paper that Philip has thrown lands behind the bin. Philip throws another piece of paper. This one doesn't land on the floor, it hits the wall. The piece of paper hits the wall. And it falls down to the ground. It falls down to the ground on the right of the bin. Here's the piece of paper on the floor, on the right of the bin. That was the third piece of paper. Philip is a bit annoyed. He's a bit annoyed because none of the pieces of paper have gone into the bin. Philip finds another piece of paper on his desk that he doesn't want. He scrunches it up and throws it towards the bin. Where does it land? The piece of paper lands here. In the middle between the bin and Philip. He didn't throw it very far. The piece of paper didn't land very close to the bin. It landed between the bin and Philip. The piece of paper isn't close to the bin. Philip is a bit more annoyed. There's only one sheet of paper left on the desk. Philip has looked at all the sheets of paper except for one. There's one left. This last sheet of paper, Philip doesn't want. He doesn't want it. So he throws it towards the bin. The last sheet of paper goes into the bin. It was a perfect throw. It didn't land far away from the bin. It didn't land behind the bin. It didn't land in front of the bin. It didn't land to the side of the bin. It went into the bin. Philip is happy. He's happy because he got one sheet of paper into the bin. And his desk is now tidy. He's tidied his desk. Do you like to throw pieces of paper into the bin? Is it fun to throw pieces of paper into the bin? To see how many, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, how many you can get into the bin. All right, see ya.